Hey everyone, this is Jared with Tax Relief 101, answering your questions about taxes, tax problems, the IRS, and a whole lot of other stuff. So this is our new episode where we're going to be talking about, can the IRS throw me in jail? This is a question that a lot of people have asked me in my own practice, and we'll be talking a little bit about that today and what that would take or how common it is. So that's what we'll be talking about. Before we start, though, remember, if you've got your own question, you should subscribe and comment below. Right now, we're answering questions in under a week, less than a few days, actually, usually, by the time they get in there. But as it starts to pile up, it's going to take longer. So if you want your question answered quickly, put it down there right now, and we'll get it right out to you. This show, like I said, is about taxes. I work in the tax sector and specifically helping people navigate tax problems. And so I deal with this stuff on a regular basis, and any of the other guests that come on the show will likely be in that area or an ancillary industry. And what spawned this show is a couple of things. I just noticed there's a lot of bad information, and I thought this would kind of be a fun hobby. The other thing is, I think at the time, actually my first episode had to do with private debt collectors and just being peeved off about that. So that was one of the other things that motivated me to do this particular YouTube channel and the vlog format. Like I said before, though, this is a hobby, so you're going to get some great information, but I'm not necessarily going to put a lot of time into post-editing or pre-editing, but you get great free information that, if you went to a professional to get, you'd probably end up paying a lot of money. So that's the kind of value proposition there. I pump these things out in my free time. You don't have to go pay somebody to get basic questions answered. So that's what we're doing here. And then I think that's it. Other than this, it being the most passionate show on the internet about taxes, again, weird. We're just here to have fun. So, and this is, there's also a strange topic to have fun with. But the answer is that it's better off than you might think. Very few people get thrown in jail by the IRS. It's uncommon. It usually takes kind of criminal intent for fraud. It's a very, very, very high threshold, and we'll have somebody on here who can talk more about the specifics of that thing. Because when you start to get into there, you're probably talking about litigating in court. And litigating in a federal court even. And so we'll get a tax lawyer who's dealt with that to come on, or who's more versed in those kind of issues to talk about the specifics of that at some point. So stay tuned for that. You'll see that eventually. But the kind of short answer for today is no, you're probably not going to jail. The IRS wants to be paid. They don't want you in jail. They don't want the equivalent of debtor's prison. You can't pay off your debt there. They want you to pay. So to get thrown in jail, it's a very high standard. You're probably, there's probably, foreign bank accounts or money laundering or clear intent to deceive, as well as there's a bunch of tests for civil versus criminal that go into that are in the U.S. code. And it really takes quite a bit. Or some kind of, or maybe you're a fraudulent preparer or tax person and you're filing lots of returns. You might end up in jail for that. Some people don't. It's, like I said, it's a lot rarer than people think. The IRS wants to get paid, not for you to go to jail in the majority of cases. So just keep that in mind. What the IRS wants to do is settle in some way with you, whether it's getting you on a payment plan, getting a lump sum, and, basically forgiving the rest, getting a partial pay agreement, or you qualifying for one of the programs that doesn't require you to pay, like innocent spouse or injured spouse or equitable relief or something like that. That's the resolution they're looking for, not to put you in jail. And I know that a lot of people are scared about that, so I wanted to answer that question kind of early in this series, just to get that good information out there for people. Again, just because they're not going to throw you in jail doesn't mean you shouldn't handle it. You should definitely handle it, because there are a lot of things that they can do that are really bad too, but you probably don't have to worry about jail. And we'll talk about kind of the specifics of that with someone who deals with it more often a little bit later in the series. So again, stay tuned for that. If you've got a specific question, like I always said, like, comment, we'll get that answer out to you quick. Share this with your friends so they can ask some good questions too. We always want more viewers because then we get to answer more diverse questions. And, the other thing is about that in particular, if you comment down below about what you like and what you don't like, we'll keep that in mind over time. We might not stop something as soon as, you in particular comment that you don't like it, because other people might. But if we see that people hate something that we're doing, we're probably going to reconsider it. And if we see that a lot of people are like, we really like that, or even just a few at this point, we'll probably do more of that. We're still kind of at the beginning stages, and if we're going to have fun with what you suggest, we're probably going to do it. We're pretty laid back here. So that's all. This is Tax Relief 101, where we answered the question, can the IRS send you to jail? And we're signing off for today, and we hope you guys have a great rest of your day.